Viewpoints On episode 33. Yeah, it's been a
Wow.
weird week.
A little bit,
Yeah.
but let's just get right into things. We do have a little condensed show this week.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on.
Prepping for Comic-Con is more important.
Yeah, Comic-Con prep. That's all we're about right now.
Yep.
But first, want to see it?
Yes.
Last week's two movies, Ice Age 3 and Public Enemies.
Yes.
Ice Age 3 just barely won the battle. No, Transformers.
Lost.
It was like a dead heat almost.
Yeah, it was like less than
I think it was about
100,000.
600,000
Yeah,
they said it was.
Yeah, it was very close. Very, very close. I wrote a blog about it, like 4 down here.
But, you know, I've seen the first two Ice Age movies. I actually ended up seeing them in theaters because I took, you know, cousins to see them and things. And
It's just code for myself.
they both were very good and very funny. So, I mean, there's always the chance that I may end up seeing the third one, take my nephew to see it. They're very well done comedies with a strong voice cast, so I'm not surprised by the success. And Transformers just seems to be critic proof. Like it's what's the rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Do we have it, or
19% as of yesterday when I checked.
So obviously people are not liking it, but still they're going to see it. So
which is weird.
Is it just a lack of choices, or is
I
it
think
just...
that's what it is. I mean, it's flashy. It's, you know, turn your brain off, click, and just drool and watch the movie.
Well, you know, people, The Hangover is still in theaters.
Still making money. Just past 200 million.
Star Trek is still in theaters.
Past 250 million. So
Up is still in theaters. So,
Yep.
I mean, there's plenty that you can choose from. You don't have to go see Transformers.
yeah, you can go see Public Enemies. You know,
Public
said I liked
Enemies,
it, so.
Tim liked it. And it needs a little more push.
Yeah, it made a little money, but it could use a couple more really nice weekends, I think.
Well, let's see what's going to be in competition this week. There's really only 2 big movies opening.
Well,
First of all,
a big movie
and a medium.
Yeah.
First of all, we got I Love You, Beth Cooper, starring Hayden Panettiere from Heroes.
And some dude I don't know.
It's about a kid who gives his high school graduation speech, and in it decides to profess his love for the most popular girl in school, which of course is Beth Cooper, played by Hayden Panettiere. And then it's like, well, what happens after that? You know, she gives him a wild and crazy night for embarrassing her, and you know, it's your basic sort of, you know, teen comedy, high school shenanigans, you know, one last night of high school. Directed by Chris Columbus, who has some experience, but
shocked me. I didn't know that.
Based on what we're hearing about the movie, we are surprised that Chris Columbus directed it. It's got an 11% rating, which is not good at all.
Well, yesterday had 0%.
So we're not really expecting a lot out of this movie. I think it'll be out on DVD in about next week, maybe.
Yeah,
so
maybe a week and a half.
Yeah.
On Netflix. You know, you can see it.
Right, exactly. The big movie that everybody's talking about is, of course, Bruno. Now, this is Sacha Baron Cohen in very much the same style as Borat, where he does a character. This is from his Ali G show. He does this character, stays in character, does it documentary style, where it's pretty much all the people who are in it, they don't realize that this is one big giant practical joke that he's pulling. And, you know, people loved Borat, and from what I've seen of this character, it's just as crazy and out there, and I've heard good things about it. Some people think it's funny, but, you know, I have a different take on Sacha Baron Cohen. What do you think?
Well, Borat was on USA the other day, and so I'm like, well, I've never seen it. I'll stop and watch a few minutes of it. It just wasn't funny to me. It was just like, it's sort of like Candid Camera, you know, where he's acting, but no one else is.
Yeah.
He's all unsuspecting, and I'm sure most of it's improv on his part, which you have to give him credit for, because improv's not, you know, the easiest thing in the world. Just ask Drew Carey.
Because he's just reacting to their reactions.
Yeah.
So, the thing about...
I didn't think it was funny at all.
I did not get bored at all either. I didn't think it was funny. And I think there's a group of people in that style who, like, they love it or they just don't get it.
Frat boys.
And Bruno seems to be very much in the same style, where people are going to love it and think it's hilarious, or people are just not going to get it. And I don't think it's that we get it. It's just not our particular brand of comedy. But the thing about Sacha Baron Cohen is he's funny. I personally think he's hilarious. He was on Letterman the other night as himself, and I just laughed hysterically. And in the other movies he's been in, Talladega Nights, he's in the Madagascar movies, He was in Sweeney Todd. The other...
I'm glad I had a question ready for Stump the Host based on Sacha Baron Cohen, but I'm like, I'm not going to use it today. Thank God I didn't, because it was about what other movies he was in.
He, you know, so he obviously is good and he's funny. I just don't like this particular brand because I almost feel like it's a little mean-spirited. It
is, but I remember in 2006, Borat had like this. You would think it was going to be the biggest movie ever made, like the hype and the critical acclaim, and you know everyone was talking about it. You're like, holy crap, this is going to make a ton of money, and it made a good amount of money, but it wasn't like, bam, like oh. So I think my expectations are kind of low for this movie. I think, of course, it will be the #1 movie. I think Transformers has had 2 weeks.
It's run its cycle.
Yeah. I think the only chance is Ice Age might pick up a few more kids. So there's a chance that Ice Age could be #1. Right. So I'm going to say it's between Bruno and Ice Age. I think I Love You, Beth Cooper has absolutely no chance of maybe even being in the top 5. I think really, I'd be lucky if it'd be in the top 10.
Yeah, it's not really going to make anything.
Yeah.
So those are your choices. I would say go with some things that are all in theater, like I suggested earlier. Hangover, Up, Star Trek. They're
Away
all
We
still
Go is
out
still
there.
in theaters.
Away We Go. See something a little smaller that maybe you haven't checked out. Public Enemies.
Another movie, The Hurt Locker, is out. Everyone's been saying
great things about that.
That's, I think, right now they said that's our first real contender for best movie, best director, and maybe even best actor. So
right.
Catherine Bigelow. I mean,
yeah. I
remember her from, you know, she did that. Was that Keanu Reeves movie? I'm already forgetting. Damn it! They're flying out of airplanes. Remember that?
Keanu Reeves movie where they're flying in.
Yeah. I'll blog about it later.
It's gonna come to
me in about 5 minutes.
So that's what we have for
Point Break.
Okay. Wait,
you never
Point Break, not the one with Patrick Swayze and the surfers who rob banks, but the one with the airplanes.
Yeah, they fly out of airplanes. That was their thing. Remember that's at the end how he broke his foot, you know? Spoiler warning, sorry.
Tim Guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, let's move on to the trailers. A few trailers premiered this week.
Well, let's do your thing, because I got yelled at because I showed a good trailer and then a bad trailer.
Right.
So let's talk about the bad trailer first.
Old Dogs.
Yes.
First of all, strong cast. Could not have a stronger cast.
Well, it could.
It could, but I'm just saying, based on just the pedigree of the cast, you would think, wow, this movie's going to be great. Robin Williams, John Travolta, I believe I also saw Kelly Preston in there.
Bernie Mac's in it.
Seth Green, you know, Justin Long was in there. So, I mean, it's a really strong cast of characters. You watch the trailer and it's just recycled, just ridiculous, not funny. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some funny parts because Robin Williams is hilarious. He's Robin Williams. Yeah. And John Travolta is endlessly charming. So there'll be a few good points, but nothing worth paying $10 to sit through.
And I don't even have anything to say about it. So we'll go to a good, funny movie that looks hilarious, is The Invention of Lying with Ricky Gervais.
I thought you wanted to work through the bad ones first.
Well, we'll go to the comedies, and we'll save the worst for last.
All right, so Invention of Lying, Ricky Gervais. I don't think it's any secret to anybody that we're big fans of Ricky Gervais. Yes. Basically, and he directed this film and co-wrote it. He plays a guy in a world where people who cannot lie, everybody tells the truth, he figures out how to lie.
And basically rules the world.
Yes, because he's the only one who knows how to lie, and since nobody else can, everybody just assumes he's telling the truth. Trailer looks hilarious, and I just love that Ricky Gervais style of comedy, his delivery, everything.
Yeah, it's very, you know, just flat, like, you know.
Right. Jennifer Garner, Rob Lowe, in it, Tina Fey. Now, this is a movie with a really strong cast that seems to live up to it, so this is one I can't wait to see.
Smart comedy.
Very smart comedy.
Yeah, so there's that.